Think about the exact moment you walk through your front door at the end of the day. Think about the physical weight you carry as you turn the key in the lock. The heavy, invisible armor of the day is still resting squarely on your shoulders. You have spent your entire day fighting a quiet, relentless war of attrition. You navigate treacherous office politics designed to undermine you. You constantly defend your boundaries against those who seek to overstep them. And you fiercely protect your energy from parasites, manipulators, and the endless parade of fools who demand your attention. You have built a psychological fortress around your mind just to survive the modern landscape. You have learned the tactics. You have learned to spot the red flags. You have learned to be untouchable. But as you stand on the threshold of your home, ask yourself this one brutal question. What exactly are you protecting your energy for? Welcome to the Psyche Vault. Today, we are changing the paradigm. On this channel, we have spent considerable time building the walls, the tactical strategies, and the intellectual defenses against a dark, manipulative world. We have discussed how to handle the narcissist, the Machiavellian, and the corporate predator. But a fortress with nothing inside is merely an empty tomb. Now, we must look at what actually belongs inside your fortress. We are exploring the ancient stoic strategy of absolute peace. And we are discovering why the time you spend with your family, or in quiet, undisturbed solitude, is not a break from your real life. It is your real life. Modern society has programmed you with a dangerous, calculated inversion of reality. The corporate machine wants you to believe that your career is your primary purpose for existing. It conditions you, from a very young age, to tie your fundamental human worth to your productivity, to your job title, your salary, and your absolute utility to the system. It tells you that your home, your family, your children, and your moments of quiet rest are merely secondary. They frame these sacred things as pit stops, brief, tightly scheduled moments to recharge your exhausted batteries, just so you can wake up and produce more for a system that would replace you by tomorrow morning if you disappeared today. This is not an accident. This is a calculated lie. It is a psychological trap designed to extract your soul, drop by drop, until there is nothing left but a functioning asset. Manipulators in the corporate hierarchy rely heavily on this exact inversion. They want you to exhaust your entire reserve of mental energy on their manufactured emergencies. They create artificial urgency to keep you in a perpetual state of fight or flight. Because an exhausted, highly stressed mind cannot build a sovereign life outside of their matrix. If you have no peace, you have no perspective. And if you have no perspective, you belong entirely to them. The Stoic philosopher Seneca understood the true, terrifying value of time. He observed that men will fiercely guard their property and their money, yet they will hand over their time to anyone who asks. Seneca knew that work is merely a tool. It is a utility. It is not an identity. The currency, the status, and the resources you earn in the chaotic, cutthroat world are entirely useless, unless you spend them in the absolute sanctuary of your own home. Think about the quiet moments that the modern world tells you are unproductive. When you sit on the floor with your child, when you share a quiet, completely meaningless moment with the people you genuinely love. When you sit alone in a silent room, simply observing your own existence without the need to achieve anything. You are not wasting time. You are engaging in the absolute highest form of human existence. In those specific, sacred moments, you step completely out of the transactional world. Your family does not care about your job title. They do not care about your efficiency, your quarterly goals, or your productivity metrics. They only want your presence. Your undivided, uncorrupted, absolute presence. This stillness is the ultimate intellectual reset. Yet look at the predictable behavior of the weak man. A weak man brings the chaos of the outside world directly into his home. He drags his muddy armor across the clean floors of his sanctuary. He complains endlessly about his boss, giving a person he despises free rent in his sacred space. He stresses over meaningless emails during dinner, staring into a glowing screen instead of looking into the eyes of his tribe. And he bleeds his corporate anxiety onto everyone around him, poisoning the very people he claims to protect. He allows the outside world to penetrate and corrupt his vault. He gives the absolute best, sharpest, and most vital hours of his day to strangers who do not care if he lives or dies. And he brings only the exhausted, bitter, broken remains of himself to his family. This is not leadership. This is subjugation. This is the ultimate failure of boundaries. But a sovereign mind operates entirely differently. The sovereign individual understands the critical tactics of the threshold. When he crosses the threshold of his home, the war is instantly, intentionally suspended. He engages in a conscious, physical release of the day's psychological burden. He leaves his phone in another room. He strips away the identity of the worker. He uses the deep stillness of his inner circle to actively heal his mind, to regain his absolute clarity, and to remember his actual purpose for entering the battlefield in the first place. He understands that peace is not weakness. Absolute peace is the foundation of all dark strategy. You cannot effectively manipulate your environment, defend against narcissists, or conquer your goals if your core is unstable and frantic. The massive, impenetrable walls you have built against the world are completely useless. If your vault is completely empty inside, it is time to reclaim your energy and enforce your borders. Stop giving the absolute best of your intellect to the machine. Stop treating your sanctuary like a dumping ground for your corporate stress and unmanaged anxiety. Draw a hard, unforgiving line at your front door. Let the manipulators, the energy vampires, and the fools have the outer world. Let them fight over the scraps of status. The inner world belongs only to you and to those rare few who are actually worthy of your true presence. If you are ready to master your mind, if you are ready to stop bleeding your energy, to learn the tactics of self-defense, and build a life of true, unshakable power, subscribe to the Psyche Vault. Leave your heavy armor at the door tonight. Guard your peace.